Mangwanani Mwalelepo Vukenjani Klekwas Vana Ve Africa. Welcome to Africa. Good morning. This is your portal into Africa's potent stories. Today, we cover South Africa demanding Israel release Mandela's grandson after Gaza flotilla detention, with President Cyril Ramaphosa speaking out. In Uganda, Kenyan activists vanish amid Bobi Wine's campaign, raising regional security concerns. Mali prosecutes ex-PM Moussa Mara over free speech violations, while Cameroon prepares for elections as UNDP leader Bello Boba Maigari challenges Paul Biya. Zimbabwe's Strive Masiyiwa consolidates Econet control through family appointments, and Zambia promotes tourism via visa-free policies and global conferences. Namibia features student exchanges, new roads, dementia activism, fully Namibian-owned supermarkets, and we remember guitarist Christian Poloni. Watch us on DSTV 285, GoTV 25, 1up2.com, NTV Africa on YouTube. My name is Ashwin Berry. Top stories shortly. It's time to get into the top stories on Africa. Good morning. South Africa has urgently called on Israel to free activists detained after attempting to deliver humanitarian aid to Gaza, including Nkosi Zwelivelile Mandla Mandela, grandson of Nelson Mandela. President Cyril Ramaphosa described Israel's interception of the global Sumud flotilla in international waters as a grave offense and a violation of international law, highlighting its breach of an International Court of Justice injunction ensuring unimpeded humanitarian aid. South Africa has also filed a case at the ICJ accusing Israel of genocide over its military actions in Gaza, a charge Israel rejects. Before departure to join the flotilla, Mandela said Palestinians' conditions under Israeli occupation were worse than apartheid-era South Africa. Ramaphosa emphasized that global solidarity efforts aimed at relieving Gaza's suffering and advancing peace had been undermined, and condemned the flotilla interception as an affront to international sentiment. Israel, however, rejected comparisons between Palestinian experiences under long-term occupation and the apartheid system. Now, Mandela's participation in the humanitarian mission underscores ongoing efforts to draw international attention to Gaza's humanitarian crisis, while South Africa continues diplomatic pressure on Israel to ensure the release of all the detained activists. Keeping in mind, there's a statue of his grandfather, Nelson Mandela, in Palestine. Two Kenyan human rights activists, Bob Njagi and Nicholas Oyo, have disappeared in Uganda after reportedly being abducted by armed men while attending opposition leader Bobi Wine's campaign event. The activists were allegedly picked up mafia-style at a patrol station and driven to an unknown location. Bobi Wine condemned the incident, claiming the Kenyan activists were targeted solely for associating with him and expressing solidarity with his political cause ahead of next year's elections against incumbent President Yoweri Museveni. Ugandan police denied holding the pair, and government officials asked Wine to provide evidence identifying the responsible security agency. Rights organizations, including Amnesty International Kenya and the Law Society of Kenya, called on Ugandan authorities to disclose the activists' whereabouts, stressing a worrying pattern of abductions and enforced disappearances across Eastern Africa. Witnesses reported 4 armed men and a woman forced the activists into a vehicle, and videos show Njagi actively participating in the campaign. Past incidents in the region mirror these abductions, including the detention of Boniface Mwangi and Agatha Atuhaire in Tanzania, and the disappearance of Uganda opposition figure Kizza Besigye in Nairobi. The case has raised serious concerns over cross-border suppression of dissent and the safety of political activists in the region. Moving on. Former Malian Prime Minister Moussa Mara appeared in court in Bamako as judges denied bail and the prosecution sought a 2-year prison sentence, reflecting the military junta's intensified repression of dissent. Mara, who served as Prime Minister between 2014 and 2015, was arrested on the 1st of August following a social media post expressing solidarity with political prisoners and promising their protection. Authorities charged him with undermining state credibility, opposing legitimate authority, inciting public disorder, and spreading false information. His trial, which began September 29 in a specialized national cybercrime court, raises concerns over fairness, with legal experts asserting the charges violate freedom of expression rights and set a dangerous precedent. Since the 2021 coup, General Assimi Goita's junta has suppressed opposition parties, journalists, and activists, ignoring calls for accountability and delaying the return to civilian rule. Mali's withdrawal from ECOWAS and plans to leave the International Criminal Court threaten access to justice for victims of rights violations. Mara's arrest highlights the junta's intolerance for political dissent and demonstrates that even advocating for the oppressed is now criminalized. Human rights organizations have called for Mara's immediate release, along with others arbitrarily detained, to uphold freedom of expression and protect civil liberties in Mali. Nearly 8 million Cameroonians are set to vote on October 12 in an election that could reshape the country's political landscape, with UNDP President Bello Boba Maigari running against longtime leader Paul Biya. Maigari, a veteran politician with experience in both government and opposition roles, emphasized the constitutional right to contest elections following his party's June 21 decision to present candidates. At 80, he argued that longevity offers valuable insight and learning, which he believes strengthens his vision for Cameroon's future. He outlined priorities including infrastructure, healthcare, agriculture, and education, noting ongoing challenges such as children attending school under trees despite decades of independence. Maigari defended his past government involvement, claiming he acted within agreed-upon programs, and stressed that UNDP now seeks better delivery on development promises. The election features a crowded opposition field, including a consensus candidate from the Union for Change, which Maigari dismissed as lacking legitimacy. With the Constitutional Council expected to confirm results, the campaign will test whether Maigari's blend of experience, reform promises, and long-term political engagement can resonate with voters seeking meaningful change and renewed institutional independence in Cameroon's democratic process. The next of our top stories, Zimbabwean billionaire Strive Masiyiwa has consolidated family influence in Econet Wireless by appointing his daughters Sarah Masiyiwa and Elizabeth Tanya to senior executive positions. Sarah joined the board as an alternate director on October 1, bringing expertise in economics, journalism, and global media oversight, complementing Elizabeth Tanya, who has served as a full director since April 2022. Their appointments enhance investment strategy and business development within the telecom conglomerate, reinforcing the Masiyiwa family's leadership while enabling Strive Masiyiwa to focus on artificial intelligence initiatives. He plans a $720 million investment to establish AI factories across Africa, targeting Egypt, Morocco, Kenya, Nigeria, and South Africa, aiming to provide local AI infrastructure and reduce dependence on foreign cloud providers. Econet highlighted the daughters' roles in driving digital transformation, community development, and strategic oversight. The first AI factory under Masiyiwa's Cassava Technologies initiative is underway in South Africa, featuring advanced NVIDIA processors for AI computing. Universities, researchers, and startups have already reserved access to this infrastructure. The dual appointments on Econet's board secure the family's influence over corporate strategy while supporting Masiewa's broader vision to advance technological innovation and social impact across Africa through AI and digital initiatives. And in the last of our top stories, Zambia's 2022 cabinet directive urging government agencies to bid for international events is revitalizing the hospitality sector, with Lusaka and Livingstone hosting global conferences and attracting international delegates. The upcoming 2026 events, including the African Marketing Confederation Conference, African ICT Conference, and Africa Supply Chain Conference, will draw around 2,000 participants, benefiting hotels, conference venues, and tourism-related businesses. Hotel occupancy in Livingstone has risen to 70%, surpassing the national average of 55%, up from 40% pre-2023. The government has expanded visa-free access to 167 countries, aiming to boost tourism revenue. The Destination Zambia campaign leverages global platforms like BBC Global Storytelling and Expedia to attract high-value tourists from key markets, while domestic tourism initiatives under Take a Holiday Yamuloko encourage Zambians to explore their own country. Provincial airport upgrades, including Lusaka, Ndola, and Livingstone, and a new $85 million airport in Mfue, improve connectivity. The World Bank funded $100 million green, resilient, and transformational development project will further support infrastructure and tourism development nationwide. With focus shifting to Zambia's northern circuit and local airlines increasing regional flights, the government aims to position the country as a premier aviation and tourism hub, contributing to a target of 2.4 million international arrivals in 2025. Those have been our top stories on Africa Good Morning. After the break, we're going to be looking at the videos of the week stemming from Namibia. But first, the weather. So just about every Friday, I choose the videos of the week stemming from Namibia, whether it comes from development, social initiatives, anything that speaks to the land and its progression I try to cover. And the first one we're going to be looking at is about 5 Namibian students, Job Shilumbu, Martin Shikongo, Ndahafa Mateus, Aubrey Thomas, and Samuel Ngihangwa from Niche Training Academy in Walvis Bay, headed to Bremen, Germany for a month for a green hydrogen exchange program. A ceremony was hosted to send off the 5 students before their departure on Wednesday. This video is courtesy of Leandra Morse.
Our 5 trainees that are going to Germany are trainees that were that applied for the grant with SASCAL this last year, the year before last year. So, and they were able to complete their level 4, metal fabrication and boiler making. They proceeded on that same grant to start off with their level 1 and 2 for double-coated welding. The start there, everything has not been easy. We have been pushing through some serious challenges, but they've made it this far. We are also the very first, SASCAL has been sponsoring, this is the second cohort of students that they've been sponsoring, that they've been giving grants to within the green hydrogen sector. And Niche is the only TVET currently who managed in all these, is it 5 years that they are now currently granting, managed to get a cohort out to a TVET in Germany. Their requirements were that we have to make, as the TVET has to make our own connections with the TVET in Germany, and we are currently the only TVET in Namibia who have managed to do that. And so we are absolutely excited for the fact that we have brilliant young minds, young artisans going out, not just with the Niche flag, but also carrying the Namibian flag high. We really want to congratulate you. Congratulations.
We certainly wish them all the best. Network Media Hub spoke to Betty Holtzhausen, activist and CEO of Alzheimer Dementia Namibia, ADN, in Rundu. Holtzhausen, who has for more than a decade dedicated his life to challenging harmful practices that see people, particularly those living with dementia, falsely branded as witches, said he has in recent years spent much of his time in Kavango West, Kavango East and the Zambezi regions. He explained that witchcraft accusations are often rooted in jealousy and hatred, drawing parallels with apartheid as a system of oppression and exclusion. Holtzhausen emphasized that such practices continue to rob vulnerable individuals of their dignity and rights, and he urged the government not to turn a blind eye when traditional courts and authorities impose beliefs that override the Constitution. This video is courtesy of Philippus Joseph.
In the village, I ask people, show me a witch. And sometimes they will run away because they think, oh, I'm also a witch. And every time I find someone accused of being a witch, I can see the signs and the symptoms of dementia in this person. It's mostly elderly people. And there was Titus Yemba from Sinsagoro village among the Bunza, being accused that he killed 4 people through his magic because he's a witch. And he was fined in the court. And the traditional courts are 100% against the constitution of our country, because the constitution of our country is very, very clear, and that is you are innocent till proven guilty by facts. The traditional courts say, no. If they accuse you of being a witch, you are guilty till proven innocent by the magical powers of a witch doctor. And the witch doctor is getting rich. They're making money. And people are getting poorer, and you will never address poverty if this is going on. And I also like to make a comparison between the harmful practices of apartheid and the harmful practices of witchcraft. During apartheid time, I grew up in apartheid. I voted for apartheid. I'm not proud of it, but I can't say, I didn't.
An important cause, indeed. Now, the CEO of Althaver and List Group, Sven Tiemer, says that the model food market, previously known as Pick n Pay, is now fully Namibian-owned, and he is proud that a huge amount of the revenue streams will flow back into Namibia. Speaking at the official opening of the Aus Valley Model Food Market in Windhoek, he added that this allows the company to expand and revamp stores, provide extensive staff training over the coming years, and offer a wider range of products. Timmer reflected on the brand's origins, which started in 1965 when his grandfather was denied a license to sell groceries from his farm and decided to buy his own supermarket. He also praised the store's modern technology, including self-checkouts and trained robots, and hinted at possible future expansions to Cape Town. Chris Kaukiamwa reports.
A huge amount of the revenue streams will flow back into Namibia, which allows us to expand our stores, well, firstly revamp the stores, and then of course training a lot of training will have to happen over the next years, and as Greg said, be patient with us. I think there's quite a bit of a range that we have not seen before, and I think what normally happens, people do the panic buy, which I would have done too if I didn't fly out today and tomorrow again. That you just want to make sure you get your 3 or 5 cheeses, that's enough for the next 2 weeks. So that will be happening too. Initially, where things are just being bought out, and we've got many of the things that have been put on the shelf there and have immediately gone. So bear with us on that one. Yeah. But just going back to the model brand, it's where it all started. It started with the model supermarket in 1965 when the old man, my grandfather, didn't get a license to sell his groceries from the farm or more the vegetables, and he just went ahead and bought his own supermarket, right? And that is, sometimes we hear in Namibia, this complain and blame PTY Limited, where everybody blames someone else. I think we just took it into our hands and created something of our own again, and that's what.
And now, the deputy head of mission at the Embassy of Japan, Noriaki Sadamoto, says the local production of EIP training equipment by NAS Mechanical Engineering Department marks a major milestone in sustaining the program nationally. Speaking in Rundu, he also highlighted Namibia's participation at TICAD9 in August, where Prime Minister Elijah Ngurare met Japanese Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba and signed 2 Green Sector of Memorandum Understanding. This video is courtesy of Philippus Joseph.
I'd like to emphasize that Japan views itself as a key development partner of Namibia through the different programs that we conduct, such as scholarships, building of classrooms, dispatching of technical experts and teachers, as well as through JICA program and trilateral cooperation with UN agencies. Japan International Cooperation Agency, JICA, and the NAST in April 2018 was launched a bilateral technical cooperation project called the Employability Improvement Project EIP. The EIP is designed to develop employable graduates from the labor market, equip them with the necessary soft skills required for the workplace. Phase 2 of the EIP began in May 2024 and will continue until the end of 2025 this year. The goal for the Phase 2 is to provide support to NAST in establishing the foundation for sustainable expanding EIP training to external parties, such as Rundu vocational training centers and companies, industries.
Thank you for staying with Africa Good Morning throughout the week on DSTV 285, GoTV 285, 1up2.com. Remember to click echo to see this episode again. Now, renowned guitarist and producer Christian Poloni died at age 67 in France. For over 2 decades, the Marseille-born musician shaped Namibia's sound, producing for some of the country's award-winning performing artists. As we bring today's show to a close, we remember Christian Poloni. Here is a performance by Christian Poloni and myself, Sura Jaganaka.
And I just know that when the wind hits, we'll be like palm trees, swaying but staying grounded. You never let me be too proud, and you never be Grace Mugabe or Graça Michel for that matter, because when you're with the king, other rulers don't matter, and rules aren't matter until you follow them. That's when they take form, so we keep shape-shifting, passing in and out of each other, because energy doesn't die, it transforms, and your love transformed me into a man I didn't think I could be in this lifetime. My time was consumed by habits born of childhood traumas. Now I stay close to you because you're quite frankly warmer than the fake hugs I got, and the fake love I thought could sustain me can't be compared to this. Signed, sealed, delivered-ish. If heaven take you back, then I am busting in. If you're living multiple lives, then you can count me in. love is a lie, then I do not exist. 'Cause nothing can be real if there isn't this. Nothing can be real. Nothing can be real. Nothing can be real.